sports all plays. Yeah. All sports all plays. All sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk Friday, November 4th, 2022. My Pacers got to win tonight, so that's always a good thing. It was barely, but we got to win. But no, it hasn't been a bad night. No baseball tonight, unfortunately. Today's a travel day. Game 6 World Series be tomorrow. Been some college football games on. I'm actually watching a pretty good game now. The Washington and Oregon State game just started. First quarter's almost over. It's been a pretty good game. But joined by, like always, by the sports judge, Jonathan Mathis. How's it going, man?
What's up, Gonzo? I'm way up. I feel blessed on this wonderful Friday. Happy Friday to you. Thank God it's Friday. I have the Laker game on behind me. I don't really know the score because I haven't really paid much attention. I just really had it on for sound noise. Maybe I should have paid more attention to see what the score is. Maybe you might have the score in front of you, or maybe I should just turn my head around and see the score and see that the Lakers are down to the Utah Jazz, which is not very surprising to me one bit. I like your Ice Cube shirt, by the way. That is stylish. That is very cool right there. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Always got to rep Ice Cube when I can.
Oh, you know, I always got to rep a graphic tee. That's how I am.
I don't listen to them like the new rap. So if I listen to rap, it's like Ice Cube, Tupac. It's all the like 90s, early 2000s guys.
Oh, I have to agree with you 100%. This hip hop today is trash. It's garbage.
And the new stuff isn't for me.
Yeah, I don't know what these youngsters are listening to today. I mean, these guys can spit lyrics, but some of the music is just way out there. You know, a lot of it don't make sense. A lot of it has no meaning to it, has no substance. It's hip hop is not the same anymore, and you know, it's more telling as the day goes that it won't ever be the same. You know, it's a new generation of hip hop.
It's not just hip hop either. It's I mean, look, once all these older rock and roll bands pass away, there's no rock and roll like there was back in the 80s and 90s and 70s.
Right. And the same applies to hip hop after Biggie and Tupac left. You know, I think hip hop will be a lot different today if those guys were still alive.
No, I agree. But no, man, we have been having a lot going on in the sports world. World Series, let's start with that. Been a great, awesome World Series to watch. That game, if you weren't excited watching that game last night, I don't know. There has to be something wrong with that game. Was a real tight game, ended up being a 3-2 game. Phillies had plenty of the chances to win that game, just couldn't. I think, if I remember correctly, they stranded 12 runners on base last night. Just couldn't get that hit with runners in scoring positions that they needed. Got a couple good hit hard balls, and one got cut off the wall there in the 8th or 9th inning, which I think saved the game for the Astros. And then Mancini made a real nice play at first base on the ball hit by, I believe, Schwarber. Either Schwarber or Harper hit one real sharp down first baseline, and Mancini made a good play on that. Or that one would have scored at least one run, maybe two. So Phillies had plenty of chances to get runs in, couldn't cash in on it. So you got to tip your hat to the Astros relievers on that. But it's been a good World Series so far. We'll see if maybe tomorrow the Phillies can force a Game 7. I think they're going to. I don't see them losing 3 games in a row. So I look for them to at least force a Game 7. But what are your thoughts on the World Series so far, Judge?
Yeah, I have a hard time seeing the Phillies lose 3 games in a row. They hadn't lost 2 games in a row. That was the first time they lost 2 games in a row in this entire postseason. I mean, that's how good they've been. And, you know, they're a team with their backs against the wall. They're known to respond, you know, and I think they will force a game 7. I'll be very surprised if they don't force a game 7. I think they know what's at stake here. They know how vital this game will be tomorrow night. And I think they will respond with a great deal of urgency. I think the Phillies bats will come to life again in Houston. Now, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough in Houston because if this Phillies team want to win a World Series and they want it bad enough, they have to win one in Houston. That's a must because
they're going to have to win 2 in Houston.
Yeah, they got to win. That's what I'm saying. They got to win 2 in Houston. And it's not easy to win in Houston. It's not easy to win in Minute Maid Park. But I think the Phillies can. The Phillies have the bats. Bryce Harper, he's going to have to, square the ball up and don't focus on knocking it out of the park. Just, slap it into right field, left field. Get on base.
But that's one of the problems is because with what you said there, that they need to just get base hits. That's not how the Phillies have scored the runs all year.
Right. And we saw that
they live and die. They live and die by the long ball.
Right.
And last 2 games they haven't been able to get enough of them. But,
it's been a winning formula for them, right? They hit 5 home runs. They hit a historic 5 home runs.
No. I'm saying the last couple games they haven't been able to hit them at that pace.
Yeah, so they're gonna need towering shot from Bryce Harper. They're gonna need the big thing here though. The big thing here though, Chris, is that they're gonna need Kyle Schwarber to set the tone.
Well, no, the main thing is they're going to need Wheeler to pitch a good game. Wheeler has to pitch a good, solid 5-6 innings for him.
Can he?
I think he can. I mean, he's pitched good all playoffs. He struggled a little bit his first game of the World Series, but I don't expect him to struggle like that again. I think he can put together or has the ability to pitch a good game. Real quick, hey, Greg, how's it going? Happy Friday to you
Greg?
as well.
Happy Friday, and what's up, Andre?
This is the first time all season the Phillies have been down in a series. Oh yeah, we'll definitely talk about the Falcons and the Chargers this week. Chargers are missing a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the ball heading in this week's game. But no, yeah, I guess I'm hoping they force a game 7, kind of selfishly because I'm not ready for baseball to be over yet.
Too.
But
here's the thing, too, Chris. The momentum has shifted in this series, and now it's in the Astros' favor. So the pressure is now on the shoulders of the Phillies.
Yeah. I mean, to a point, just because I know, like the Phillies they've already overexceeded expectations for like the outside world, but especially to the Phillies, you have to win this game. I mean, it's a winner go home game. So I mean, the pressure is definitely on the Phillies here because the Astros, if they get beat, they have another game they can play to try to win. Phillies don't have that luxury at this point in the series. That's why last night's game was so big, because whoever won last night's game had an advantage. I mean, because even if the Phillies won last night, yes, you're going back to Houston, but you're going back to Houston where all you have to do is split. You don't have to win both. So that to me that'd put a little more pressure on the Astros because they would win both games. Now all the Astros have to do is split. It definitely has switched. Pitching's going to have to show up, and then their bats are going to have to be able to put some runs on the board. And I think they need to get them early. I think they need to get some in maybe the first 3 innings or so, and then to try to put some pressure on Houston. Can't fall behind and try to come back.
But don't think it's in the back of the minds of Alex Bregman and Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve, because remember, this is a Houston team that blew a similar advantage at Minute Maid Park against Washington in 2019 when they had a 3-2 lead, and the improbable Nationals finished them off by taking 2 games on the road. So, I mean, a series is never over till it's over, and the Phillies have been riding that red wave of momentum, and they have been on this magical run that's been amazing. That's had everybody talking about how great of a team this Phillies team is, turning it on at the right time. You know, a team that had a drastic turnaround to get to this point, and they've, you know, responded each time. So, I mean, the series is never over till it's over. We'll see what happens. We
Greg
will
said,
find out.
Yeah, Greg says the Astro players that were on that team that lost the 3-2 lead to the Nationals, we'll see if they learned from that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it's going to be interesting. I'm ready to watch it tomorrow night. Let's talk a little college football real quick. College football playoffs came out with the first top 4 of the for the college football playoff rankings of the season. They have Clemson at number 4 in the top 4. That's been the one that seems like most people have kind of been critical of out of the top 4 that they have, of Georgia, Tennessee, Ohio State, and Clemson. Do you think Clemson belongs in the top 4?
No, I don't think Clemson belongs in the top 4. I think Michigan.
What's going on, Mike Hughes?
Well, no, I don't think Clemson belongs in the top 4 at all. Yes, they have an 8-0 record overall. They're 4-0 at home. They're 3-0 away. Yes, I get it. But if they were to meet a tougher opponent in the playoffs, they'll probably get slaughtered. They'll probably get slaughtered easily.
No, I agree.
It's a done deal for them. It's a wrap.
No, I agree 100%. Clemson shouldn't be in top 4. Michigan should have been in top 4 over Clemson.
Yes,
I wouldn't even have Clemson at 5. Honestly, I know some people ain't gonna agree with me. I'd have TCU at 5 before I have Clemson at 5.
I don't even think I would have Ohio State as high as they have Ohio State.
I'd definitely have Ohio State in the top 4.
I don't know. They played a lot of cupcakes. I don't know if I think they'll get slaughtered too. We'll see. We'll see when they meet Michigan. That would be their real test right there. Because to me, they had a light schedule. They haven't really played anybody that's tough. You know, they've been able to blow out a number of their opponents. So, I mean, who have they really played? I mean, you could question that as well.
No, I think Ohio State deserves to be in the top 4. They got a pretty solid team. I do kind of think that Michigan might beat them again this year, but I definitely think Ohio State's a good football team.
Well, they definitely got playmakers. They definitely got a good quarterback in Stroll.
Hey, Mike, yeah, you're more than welcome to jump on if you want to jump on, man.
Mike should jump on, man. He brings the energy.
He says Ohio State is solid.
That energy is contagious, Mike. Mike, you give me a lot of energy, man. You give me a lot of passion. Step on. Come on. We're waiting.
Yeah, he said Ohio State's solid. I agree with him there.
I mean, they're good. I'm not saying they're not good. I just don't know if they deserve to be in the spot that they're in. But we'll see more. We'll learn more about Ohio State when they play Michigan. I'm looking forward to that game.
Do you guys see Oregon or USC making the top 4 if they win the Pac-12?
No, I really don't. The Pac-12 doesn't get love like the SEC or like the Big Ten, you know, or even in this case, the ACC with Clemson being a top 4 school, which has blown people's mind. But no, I don't see Oregon or USC. Oregon or USC will get a Rose Bowl game most likely if that's not a playoff game this year. I don't know if the Rose Bowl is one of the playoff sites this year. I'm not too sure, but it's been a tradition for many years that the Pac-12 teams versus the Big Ten teams play at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. I don't see a Pac-12 team either one of them making it.
No.
I can see a scenario where the committee will put 3 SEC teams in because if
Of
depending
course.
on how everything falls out, I could see Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee all making it. Which I don't. Hopefully, we don't get 3 teams from one conference, but I can see a scenario where the college football playoff committee would do that. I think one of them teams is going to get eliminated because Georgia and Tennessee play this week. Then you still have the SEC championship game where the winner of Georgia and Tennessee will have to play Alabama, probably because they're in that other division.
Oh, the SEC is the powerhouse of college football. It's the money. It's a money-making conference for college football, and Georgia, and Tennessee, and Ohio State. It's not so much about the product that they put on the field. It's about making money for the NCAA. That's what it's ultimately about at the end of the day.
Dustin says Ohio State is the best team in the country. You can make an argument for all top teams outside of Tennessee. Clemson and Georgia OSU have had easy schedules. Yeah, Tennessee's the only one you really can't complain about their schedule much because they have a win over Alabama. I think Ohio State's right up there with the top teams. I kind of like Tennessee to win it all. Georgia's right up there, and I'd put Ohio State right with them teams. And I think Michigan's right up there as well. I think Michigan has a good chance of I think Michigan-Ohio State game is going to be one hell of a game to watch.
We'll learn more about Tennessee too when they play Georgia, when they face Georgia this weekend.
Tomorrow.
We'll learn more. That's tomorrow. We'll learn more about Georgia, and we'll learn more about Tennessee tomorrow. But Hendon Hooker, he looks like a Heisman hopeful. He's a Heisman hopeful to me, Hendon Hooker, man. Yeah. Hendon Hooker is an absolute stud.
Damian, Tennessee hasn't played anybody good at all. I don't see how they're in the playoffs.
What?
No.
But Hendon Hooker, man, he has shown flashes of maturity.
They beat Alabama, so you can't say they haven't beat nobody.
That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous statement right there. Tennessee has beaten Alabama. Tennessee went on the road and beat LSU. To me, those are 2 big wins right there. That solidifies their case to be a top 4 school.
Oh, they should be in the top 4.
Absolutely.
John, I agree with what John's saying here about the only way Oregon make it is if Clemson loses to North Carolina in the ACC championship game. Bama would have to lose one more, and then Texas would have to upset TCU. So I think undefeated TCU gets in before Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon will need a lot of help. I agree with John.
Greg, you're right. If LSU beats Bama tomorrow, Bama's playoffs hopes are done. They got to beat LSU tomorrow and then win in the. And I think they have to win the SEC conference championship game to get in the playoffs. Since they already have that one loss to Tennessee.
I've lost all hope in Alabama. Alabama is not the same team anymore. They're not a powerhouse anymore, and nobody is afraid of them. Nobody's afraid of Nick Saban's squad anymore. And anybody feel when they face them that they can beat them.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Alabama is not going to reign supreme forever. And we might have seen the end to a dynasty.
Damon said Tennessee played Alabama team that was already beaten up with injuries. That's not a big win. Tennessee has bigger wins than what some of the other teams in the Final Four. So I don't know how you can just pick out Tennessee like that they should be the one out of the top 4 when Ohio State doesn't have a. Who's Ohio State's big win, Damien?
Right.
Who's Georgia's big win this season?
Some Ohio State fan told me Toledo was their biggest win.
Oh, they obviously don't watch football. I mean,
right. Yeah.
If you think Toledo was a big win for Ohio State, you obviously do not follow college football very well at all.
Don't follow it that much to say to make a statement like that. are you just that damn oblivious?
Toledo, they're a damn MAC school.
Right. But that was apparently a big win for the school.
Dustin talking to you, Jonathan.
They ain't no powerhouse.
They're still, I think you still have to consider them a powerhouse. They're still in the top 6.
I know what y'all saying, but to me, they ain't no powerhouse.
Hold on 1 second.
I'll say this: they're not.
No. Hold on
they're
1
not
second.
the same powerhouse.
Hold
team.
on 1 second.
How about that?
Hold on 1 second. Then you can go answer Dustin's question. Damien, if you're telling me that Ohio State win over Michigan State is a bigger win than Tennessee over Alabama, what sport are you watching, dude? Alabama, a win over Alabama is a lot better win than over Michigan State. A lot better.
Ohio State beat Michigan State. They were supposed to beat Michigan State, right?
Yeah, that's what
they were supposed to.
Now you can go back. Now you go back to your spill that Oklahoma is or Alabama isn't a powerhouse. I couldn't believe that he said Michigan State's a bigger win.
Maybe I should rephrase it by saying that they're not the same powerhouse school. They're not as big of a threat as they were, in previous seasons. There's other teams now out there that can make it more challenging for them, make it much more difficult for them. There's teams out there that's gotten better. They have recruited some of the nation's best talent. They have, risen to the occasion, and they finally have, climbed the mountain a bit to join a school like Alabama. So Alabama is not alone at the mountaintop anymore. There's other teams that have finally.
Yeah, but just because you're not alone at the mountaintop doesn't mean you're not a powerhouse anymore. Because Alabama is still one of the top teams in the country.
And fair enough. But they haven't convinced me that they can beat Tennessee or Georgia. They haven't convinced me that they can win a national title this year. And I know they got talent on their team. And I know they've been banged up with injuries. I know Nick Saban is the king of college football coaches. And I do love their quarterback. I love Bryce Young. Bryce Young, man, he's an absolute stud. The kid can play. He can play. He can make the right throws down the field. He has shown flashes of maturity. He has shown brilliance at the quarterback position. He has made the plays. He has had some unforgivable moments at Alabama. Won a Heisman Trophy. But I'm sorry, it is not their year. It is somebody else.
I'm not saying it's their year, but just because it's not their year don't mean they're not a powerhouse no more.
But it's clearly looking like Tennessee is the best team this year in the SEC.
And the other thing is, I don't see it as much as Alabama falling off as much as I see it as the SEC's gotten better. You're getting Tennessee's better now. Georgia's better now. So you have more teams in that conference that are better now. So that's why you might think Alabama's fell off, but really I don't think they've fallen off. I just think the conference has gotten deeper.
Yeah, so now it's more competitive, and they're facing stiffer competition because schools have gotten better. Yes, absolutely.
Ohio State hasn't played anybody.
Thank you, Greg. They have not played anybody. It's been a bunch of cupcakes, man.
No, but and then
they need to go to the dentist to have they need to visit the dentist to have
Alabama's in the same conference as Tennessee. They mean Alabama's in the same conference as Tennessee
with all them cupcakes.
Alabama was favored over Tennessee, but you're going to try to tell me Ohio State win against Michigan State is a bigger win, man? I don't understand that.
Hey, that's ridiculous. That's utterly ridiculous. That's just been silly. That's just been silly to even make a statement like that.
And Greg says, I see Dustin's point. Bama is going through the same thing that UConn women's basketball team has gone through the past 5 years. When your competition gets better, it makes keeping your dynasty going that much harder. Once you start getting more depth in that conference where you can't just roll through it, it makes it a lot harder to stay there at the top.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit of NBA real quick before we jump into our NFL picks for all the games that we do every Friday. Do you think Kyrie Irving has played his last game in a Brooklyn Nets uniform?
He could have. We could have seen the last of Kyrie Irving. I think the Nets have grown frustrated and tired of him, especially after his recent comments about the Jewish and him sharing a link to
And the Lakers
a
going to take
video
another L tonight.
after him posting a link to a video that spews misinformed and misguided nonsense about the Jewish culture. I mean, come on now.
I don't think it's just that though. I think it's a combination of things.
It's a buildup of things, right?
Is why I think he might be done in Brooklyn.
Right.
He might still play. I'm not going to say he's played his last game, because if they can't find nobody to take him, I can see him maybe playing the rest this year, and then they're going to cut ties.
Well,
but I wouldn't be surprised if
after the 5-game suspension, though.
Huh?
They could release him after the 5-game suspension.
Okay. Well, it's not just a 5-game. It's a minimum of 5 games. So they haven't really said exactly what the
right.
It could be 5. It could be more.
Indefinite right now. It's indefinite right now, as far as we know. But the owner, he wasn't too happy.
No, I think the owner's fed up.
The owner is fed up because he called Kyrie Irving out publicly, and that right there tells you all you need to know about where the manager stands with Kyrie Irving and how he's feeling about Kyrie Irving. This is a man who missed a number of games last season, clearly because of his status regarding the vaccine, which kept him out of action. Also, this is a man who, when something happens in the country, when a police brutality or something crazy happens in the country, he wants to take time away from basketball. All of a sudden, he wants to go on a hiatus, step away from the game just to protest. But not realizing that he has an occupation, which is to play basketball. Dude, you signed a contract. Your job is to suit up and play a game of basketball. And what he has shown me and other people around the league is that he's not fully committed. But I have a question for you, Chris. How do we not know if he's doing this stuff just to get to where he really wants to go? And we've been hearing that his preferred destination is the Lakers. How do we not know?
Yeah, but I don't think the Lakers I don't think the Lakers could afford him.
But how did we not know this man has stooped to the level of stupidity just to try to gain some power to get his way and to get out of Brooklyn? This could be a way for him to get out of Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm not going to give him that much credit that that's what he's doing, because I think he's just, because if you look, dude, out of his 11 or 12-year career, he hasn't, I think there's only been like 2 or 3 seasons he's ever played more than 65 games in a season. So it's not like it's new. This isn't like it's new for him to miss games.
Right.
It's usually because of an injury or because he wants to go protest, don't feel like playing that day, something like that. Hasn't never been something like this because of hate speech or promoting something that had hate speech or whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. He promoted something with hate speech, and now he's paying the consequences for it. And there was breaking news tonight that Nike suspends the deal.
Yeah, they suspended his deal, and right now they've shut down production of his new shoe that was supposed to be coming out.
Right. So he got canceled completely. Because of his remarks and because of something that he did that was.
But Nike didn't say they were just going to like they were leaving them for good. They said they're suspending it. They're suspending the relationship, so that could end up coming back. Maybe if he's gets things going back the right direction. I just don't know if the Nets do want to get rid of him. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be jumping at the door to bring him in. Yes,
No.
he's a talented basketball player, but he don't seem to fit in with teams. Ever since he's left LeBron, he really, I mean, a lot of times it looks like the team plays better when he's not on the floor. When he was at the Celtics, I'm not going to say the Celtics were a better team without him, because I think if he could have been on the team and fit in, that he'd have made them better because of how good of a player he was. But it was something about if that team had better chemistry when he wasn't on the floor.
Yeah, and now people have painted this narrative about him, and but he bought it all on himself. And sometimes it's best. Yeah, I agree with Greg. He actually took the words out of my mouth. Sometimes it's best to keep your opinions to yourself and keep your mouth shut. Sometimes things are better off left unsaid, and Kyrie Irving feels that he can say whatever he wants to say, which he can. But with our words comes consequences. And
I think one got in trouble.
Now he's paying for it.
I think what got him in more trouble this time with this, what happened with what's got him in the most trouble, I think, with the Nets owner, is that he posted it, and then when they said something to him about it, or when the media said something to him, he basically doubled down on it and didn't apologize. And I think that's, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think the Nets. So I don't know if the Nets would have suspended him because the Nets kind of, I think they were waiting to see if it was just going to kind of go away. But then when Adam Silver came out yesterday and made his comments about it, and then all of a sudden, like a few hours later that evening, they suspend him. So I think it was more of pressure from the NBA that got the Nets to suspend him, because I think the Nets was kind of hoping that when they agreed that the Nets and Kyrie are both donating $500,000 to an organization or whatever, I think they were hoping it would kind of go away from there. And then when the commissioner made his comments against it and stuff, I think they got pressure from the NBA to suspend Irving. I think they were. I think that was more of an NBA move than just the Nets.
Yeah, they put pressure on the Nets to respond quickly and to hand down a severe punishment for Kyrie, because Kyrie's comments were offensive, dismissive, repulsive, and he has yet to show any remorse. And when he was asked about it during a press conference, a press conference that was about anything but basketball, when he was asked, he was very combative and very defiant. But Kyrie has always been defiant and combative when people call him out or question him about his remarks or how he is feeling, or why did he do this, or why didn't he do that. That's always been Kyrie. That's always been the person that he is. That's just who he is. And I understand that if this guy wants to take a break from basketball, okay, go for it. If you want to commit to being an activist full time, and you want to, join hands with a community and preach about police brutality and march the streets, that's fine. You can do that. But you still have to, honor your contract as an NBA player if you're under contract with a team. You can't decide one day you want to play basketball and then the next day you say, okay, I'm not going to show up. No, it doesn't work like that. They need a guy that's going to be committed to the team. And Kyrie has shown countless times that he's not fully committed to playing basketball. And then, worse, he creates distractions for the franchise. He has clearly become a cancer in the locker room because of his comments or because of what he says. And at some point, it gets old. It gets old, and then people get fed up, and they say, you know what? Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Okay, first of all, Damien says Ohio State win over Michigan State is a big win because of the big loss they had to Michigan State last season. Okay, but Alabama's not a big win for Tennessee when Alabama was in the national championship game last season. So that don't make a whole lot. And then Damon says he don't understand why everyone is caring about what KYRIE said. Yes, what he said was wrong, but everyone is jumping on KYRIE. But why not jump on Vic Fangio and Drew Brees when they said stupid things about Black Lives Matter and kneeling to the flag? Nobody criticized them.
Hey, I jumped on Drew Brees. No matter what, you spelled Drew Brees wrong.
Damien, Drew Brees got crucified when he mentioned something about not kneeling for the flag by everybody. So you must not have been watching NFL news. Drew Brees got crucified over that situation.
He got roasted by mainstream media.
That's all they talked about for 4 or 5 days.
People were pouring on the Twitter to call him out, and
he got crucified when it came to that.
Yeah, he really got crucified. He heard it from me too. So that's a lie.
He might not got suspended by the NFL, but he got criticized a lot. So you can't say nobody criticized him. He got criticized.
Hey, there was even videos, right? There were even videos of people burning his jerseys. It was a bad scene for him.
You ready to get to the NFL?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let me get it pulled up here. Should be some pretty good games.
Yeah. It's going to be some good games. I always look forward to NFL Sunday.
I won't get to watch all of it. I have a wrestling show Sunday, so I'll get to watch the Sunday night. Well, I'll get to watch most of the early games, and then the Sunday night game I'll probably be listening to on my way home. Okay. First game, Indianapolis Colts at the New England Patriots.
Indianapolis Colts at the New England
Patriots. I'll let you go because you already know who I'm picking, so I'll let you go first.
Man, the Colts, they humbled the Patriots a year ago. They ran all over them. They ran the football well. That's if the Colts get back to running the football, and if they don't get away from running the football, hopefully, Indianapolis can pull that off this year with Jonathan Taylor having aggravated his ankle injury behind the struggling offensive line. Let's see how this Colts offense looks against the Patriots. I guess I'll ride with the Colts. I think they will pound the football on the ground. I think.
Wait. Let me tell you something because you might not know this because the way you're talking. Jonathan Taylor is out for the Colts. He's not playing this weekend.
He's out?
Yes, he's out. He's out with the ankle injury. They've already ruled him out.
Oh well, then I gotta ride with I gotta switch my pick. Then I gotta ride with the Patriots.
I could have just let you win him blind, but because I think the way he's talking, he doesn't know Jonathan Taylor's not playing.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought he was.
No, he's. They announced.
Did that report come out today?
Yep, they came out earlier today that they ruled him out for Sunday's game.
Oh, okay, well then that changes the whole complexion of that game. Then, if Taylor's not out there, because I think he's a huge part to that offense. Like he's instrumental to that team's success, and without him, with him absent, I just don't see them beating the New England Patriots. I think the New England Patriots go 5-4. They will improve to 5-4.
The Colts have won games that Taylor hasn't played this season. They beat Denver without Taylor.
Yeah, but the Colts offense.
Hold on. Yeah, but I think the Colts. We got a rookie running back that's not bad and pretty good in Jackson. He filled in good for Taylor last time. Lindsey came off the bench and ran good as well. Both these teams' offenses aren't great. Patriots' offense isn't a real explosive offense either. The one thing that worries me, I'm picking the Colts because I don't pick against them since they're my favorite team. But the but there ain't no money on the line in this. But the reason one reason I worry a little bit is because Bill Belichick has a great record against young quarterbacks. So it's going to be interesting to see how Sam Ehlinger can do against that Belichick defense. Only being Ehlinger's second game, and and as he plays more games, the more these teams get footage on him, they're going to be able to game plan for him, game plan even better.
Right.
But I'm going with the Colts. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Dustin has it 24-13 Patriots. I was going like 20 to. I was going to go 2017 Colts.
You really believe in the Colts, don't you?
Hey, I do.
Well, you broke it down as to why you believe in them and why you think they could win the game. So,
Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets.
Oh, this is easy. Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I like the Bills. I just think the
Bills been playing.
Yep.
Man, I know New York's defense is legit and qualifies as the biggest threat for Buffalo's offense, but I still think the Bills will stay patient running the ball. I think they can protect long enough to allow Josh Allen to throw down the field. And Josh Allen is Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen is on another level.
Yeah, and the Jets offense, man, Zach Wilson really struggled last game with 3 or 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
He had been playing well before that, but I think the Bills. I expect the Bills to blow them out, actually. But
Zach Wilson is not good under pressure. He's not that good under pressure, and I think with the way the Bills play defense, they can create pressure without blitzing. That's going to make things tough for Zach Wilson.
All right, next game, Dolphins at the Bears. I like the Dolphins here. I just don't trust the Bears offense yet. And with the Bears getting rid of Roquan Smith on their defense, how's that going to affect their defense as well? But I just don't think the Bears have enough offense to keep up with Miami. I like the Dolphins.
Yeah, the additions of Bradley Chubb and Jeff Wilson bolsters the Dolphins roster. And they're gonna look different defensively. Also, they'll eventually get back their cornerback Byron Jones. This team is gonna look different defensively. I think Tua will be ready. They're in the lineup. You got Tyreek Hill. You got Jaden Waddle. They will eat as well. I love the maturation we've seen from Justin Fields, but I think this will be a little bit too much for him having to face this Dolphins team. And I think this Dolphins team will put a lot of pressure on him. I think they will get after him. And I think the Dolphins will win this football game and will improve to 6-3 on the season.
Then you have the Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions. And this is a little bit of a tricky one for me because I can see it. I can see a path to where the Lions win this game, especially if their offense, because their offense can score some points. Their defense doesn't stop a lot of teams, but the Green Bay Packers offense isn't explosive. But it's a divisional game, so usually these divisional games are close, and as a lot of times, as we know. I'm gonna go with the Green Bay Packers, even though there's something telling me that we could see an upset. This I don't know if you've even called it a big upset nowadays, but something's telling me we could see the Lions coming out on top. But I think Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are going to figure out a way to get a win.
I have to respectfully disagree with you, my friend, and I have to go with the Detroit Lions. As you said moments ago, the Detroit Lions can put up a lot of points. They like to score a lot of points. They just can't.
But we've also seen games where they haven't. That's what scares me. So It's going to be interesting.
They just can't finish games. That's been the problem with them, is that they can't finish games, it seems. But I think Green Bay's defense will have a little trouble getting off the field against Detroit. and the Packers are just not the Packers anymore. They're not a scary team. Aaron Rodgers is frustrated as hell. He doesn't have the support from his supporting cast. He can't trust or believe in his wide receivers. I think this will be a tough, tough afternoon for him against the Detroit Lions. And I just think that this game is in favor of the Detroit Lions.
Like I said, I can see either one of these teams winning that game, so I can't be mad that you went the Lions. Next game, Minnesota Vikings at the Washington Commanders. I like the Vikings here. I can't believe they only have the Vikings as 3-point favorites in this game. I like the Vikings offense. That getting that new coach this year, their offense has really looked a lot more in sync and have better chemistry. And then they just added Hawkinson from the Lions to that offense, gave Kirk Cousins another weapon, and I just don't see the Washington Commanders being able to score enough points, and I don't see the Washington defense, who hasn't been playing real great, being able to shut this Vikings offense down enough. Because I think the Commanders would have to hold the Vikings under 20 points for them to have a real shot at winning this game, and I just don't see the Commanders defense being able to do that.
Yeah, I like Minnesota. I just think they have a lot more on offense. They have the playmakers. You have Justin Jefferson. You got a new tight end now. Kirk Cousins has so many weapons at his disposal. Now he gives his receivers a chance to make plays, but so does Taylor Heineke, who gives his team a real chance as well. It's great to see him starting at quarterback. If you're a Washington fan, you've seen what this guy is capable of doing. You've seen him lead the offense before, but I just think they don't have enough to beat Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Minnesota Vikings win this game big against the Commanders.
Next game is the Carolina Panthers at the Cincinnati Bengals. John says he thinks Panthers versus Bengals is going to be closer than people think. I'll let you go first on this one.
Cincinnati Bengals have not had a great year. They don't have their top receiver, but they still deep in that receiving room. They're still deep. The Bengals are, of course, a heavy favorite against the Panthers. As we all know, the Panthers have went into a rebuild. I don't know. Since he is banged up, and it's just a different look for them. It's been a different look for them this year. They haven't played the same as they did a year ago. And, the Panthers have nothing to lose. They've been feisty. They're a feisty team. I believe that they have a chance to upset the Bengals. Oh, man, this is tough for me. I'm gonna ride with the Panthers, man, in what will be a low-scoring, close game.
I do agree with John that this game is going to be a closer game than what people think. The Panthers should have won the game last. Could have very easily. I'm not going to say should have, but could have very easily won that game last week against the Falcons. They hit the long bomb that would have gave them the victory there at the end, but then Mora took off his helmet. So then they had to attempt the extra point from 48 yards out and missed it, and went in overtime, missed some kicks in overtime, and Panthers ended up losing that game. I want to pick the Panthers. I do want to pick the Panthers in this game because I like PJ Walker as well, and he's played decent since he's been starting. But I've been a PJ Walker fan from he was on the Colts practice squad, and I watched him in the XFL, and he was on his way to be the MVP in that, and now he's got an opportunity to play in the NFL a little bit. But I think the Bengals win this game. Bengals offensive line has to play better than what they did Monday night against the Ravens. Joe Burrow was getting killed. But usually after a team gets embarrassed like that, especially a national televised game, a lot of times you see a team that gets embarrassed come back and play a lot play inspired and play a lot better game the next game. So I'm expecting the Bengals to play better this game than what they did last. So I'm going to go with the Bengals, but I do think this is going to be a closer game than what a lot of people think.
Yeah, well, they look like they're the more physical team to me, the Panthers.
Next game, the Los Angeles Chargers against the Atlanta Falcons. Hi, Mickey. Thanks for joining us. Dustin says Bengals 35-17. I like the Atlanta Falcons in this game over the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers just have so many injuries. You're not going to have they're not going to have Keenan Allen this week. Not going to have Mike Williams this week again. I think they're going to be missing their tight end as well, if I remember correctly, Parham. So they're missing a lot of weapons. The Falcons, you talked about the Panthers about being a scrappy team. The Falcons are a scrappy team. They're in a lot of games. They just have trouble finishing them. But I just don't think that with all the injuries on both sides of the ball to the Chargers, I think this is a situation where the underdog Falcons get a win.
Yeah, and I don't trust in Brendan Staley. I just don't think he's a great coach. I don't trust in him. I don't trust in him to call plays. I don't trust him to put his team in position to win games. I think he has put his team in tough spots. And like you said, a major concern is with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen being hurt. So you take those two guys away from your offense, and things are totally different for Justin Herbert. It's not going to be easy against an Atlanta team that is run heavy, that can score points. They like to run the football, and I think the Falcons are just the better team in this contest. I think the Falcons will come away with a win.
All right, next game. You said Falcons, right?
Yes, Falcons.
Next game is the Las Vegas Raiders at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars got out to a hot start to start the season off, but since then they have not been playing very good football and have really cooled off. But the Raiders have not been playing real good football either. Raiders got embarrassed last week by the Saints. The Saints just whooped them.
Whooped them up really good.
But with that being said, I'm gonna go with the Raiders this week because also when a team gets embarrassed like that, I think they usually come back and play better. I haven't seen Jacksonville hasn't. They just haven't been the same team like they were in the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season. So I like the Raiders here to bounce back and get a win.
Look, both of these teams are terrible in situational football. Both of these teams. These two teams are 0-10 in one-score games. They've been unlucky, and they just played horrible in situational football. I can't emphasize that enough. The Raiders, they have stars. Yes, they have Max Crosby, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs. Derek Carr, though, man, he's coming off of a rough game. The Raiders, as you said, got embarrassed last week, publicly humiliated. It was not pretty for them. It was absolutely ugly for the Raiders. I think the Raiders bounce back, and I think they have a better showing this week. I think they're tired of people talking about them. I think, they want to, clear some things up, and they want people to hear them this week. So I think I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Then you have the Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. I'll let you go first on this one.
So the Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals, man. Oh, the Seahawks D, man. It's all right, right? But Geno Smith and the Seahawks offense has proven to be reliable and accurate. as Gino has made throws down the field. He has looked sharp. I don't know. Smith has excelled under pressure too this season. And Arizona's secondary has given up some big plays. I think I might have to ride with the Seahawks, man. I think the Seahawks are better than what they show on paper. I think this team is better than advertised. So I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
No, I like the Seahawks in this game as well. Arizona's defense hasn't been great. I don't trust Arizona's coach and Kingsbury. I like the way that Seattle's been looking. They've been having a good run game with Walker, and then Geno Smith is having a breakout year. So I think the Seahawks get a big win here against the struggling Arizona Cardinals team. Next game is the battle of two teams that are both just struggling. As you have the Los Angeles Rams against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Somebody has to win this game.
Obviously.
But I mean, the way both these teams have been playing has not been pretty at all. I'm gonna go with the Bucs because they're at home. Neither team has been playing well. Neither offense has been able to get going this year at all. Stafford has struggled with the Rams. Cooper Kupp has an injury. I think he's questionable. I expect him to probably play, but he's questionable. But their offense, Rams have had no run game. This offense hasn't been able to get going. Been the same thing for the Bucs. The Bucs defense, outside of maybe the first game of the year against Dallas, has not looked like the Bucs defense that we expected them to look like. And then offensively, I know they had some injuries and stuff at the beginning of the season, got their weapons back still, and they just still haven't been very consistent offensively. Hasn't been able to get anything going. Tom Brady's starting to look a little old. Looks like Father Time's finally caught up with them. But with the Bucs being at home, I'm going to take the Bucs over the Rams.
Yeah, the Bucs, they don't have much of a running game either.
No.
But they do, however, have more weapons than the Rams. I mean, you can obviously look at the roster and see that. But Tom Brady's, here's a stat for you. Tom Brady's Buccaneers are 0-3 against the Sean McVay Rams. I just wanted to throw that out there. Not saying that the Rams are guaranteed to win because they're not. But the Rams have played sloppy football. They haven't been able to take care of the football. Their offensive line is obviously a liability. Their offensive line is a major concern. They definitely have to, fix the offensive line or implement a quick fix or something. There's something this team has to do to improve that offensive line of theirs, because the offensive line has not been able to protect Matthew Stafford. It has not been able the offensive line has not bought him enough time. And because of the pressure, he's forcing throws, and that's resulting in turnovers. So it's just been a bad year for the Rams. The Rams have more problems than anything. So I got to ride with the Buccaneers here.
All right. Next game, the Tennessee Titans at the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the Sunday night football game. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs here just because I don't know if Tennessee's defense is gonna be able to slow Kansas City's offense down enough, and is the offense gonna be able to? But don't get me wrong, I can see a pattern, or not a pattern. I can see a way where Tennessee can win this game.
I can't.
Oh yeah. Well, hold on. I can, because if you go in with the same strategy I said the Colts would have to use to beat Kansas City, is where you got to keep the ball. You got to keep the ball on the ground. You got to run Taylor, get Taylor going, keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. You got to win the time of possession. You got to be able to run the ball. They got and then play good defense. They got to do use that. And the Chiefs have struggled against the Titans here in recent years as well. I don't trust Tannehill if he has to get in a throwing game, but if they can get Derrick Henry going, I mean, there's a path where Tennessee could win this game. Like I said, if they could use like the blueprint, like the Colts did. We've seen teams. If you can get a running back going and keep Mahomes and them on the sideline, it's hard for them to score points, and you got to try to cut their number of possessions down. I just don't think the Titans are going to be able to do that on a consistent basis. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs to win the game. But it could end up being an interesting game.
Yeah, the Chiefs, to me, they're almost impossible to beat. They're just almost impossible to beat. They're too damn good. They have arguably the best quarterback in the league, Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes has only been touched just 3 times. It's amazing. But I know the Tennessee Titans defensive front is scary. But that's not going to put fear in Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes
put fear in him, Mo.
Hey,
are you telling me wait a minute? Let me ask you this: are you saying that the Colts defense put fear in Patrick Mahomes?
I don't think any.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. And the Colts won. The Colts was able to beat Kansas City.
I don't think Patrick Mahomes fears anything.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't use that as a measuring stick because he didn't fear the Colts and he lost. So that just because he don't fear him don't mean he can't lose.
Yeah, but Patrick Mahomes, man, to me is an expert, especially when it comes to picking out mismatches. The guy is just an incredible player. He's fun to watch. Damn, I wish he was my quarterback. That's how great he is, and he has an impact on the game. He could make plays. He could create plays. He utilizes his weapons to his ability. It's just amazing to watch this guy play, and so I got to go with the Chiefs. I think they have one of the best offenses in all of football, no question about it.
Surprise here. Got some breaking news. Greg picked the Chiefs to win the game.
Oh, obviously.
He's like me, yeah, go bet against the team, which I think the Chiefs are going to win this one. Hey, how's it going, Corey? I'm doing pretty good. Hope you're doing well. Just finishing up a busy day of sports and then start getting stuff ready for tomorrow. We got one more game. Next game for the NFL is going to be the Baltimore Ravens at the New Orleans Saints. Ravens are 2.5-point favorites. Saints looked good last week against the Las Vegas Raiders, but how much of that is how bad the Raiders are, or was that how good their defense was playing? I like the Ravens in this game. I think getting Roquan Smith is going to help their defense out. It does suck that I'm not sure if Bateman's playing this week. I think he might be out again. So Lamar Jackson is a little thin on weapons on the outside. And Andrews was banged up last week. I know he tried to play, but he was banged up with the shoulder. But I like the Ravens here. I think the Ravens are going to be able to put up enough points against the Saints. So I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens to win on Monday Night Football.
I like the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football as well. Lamar Jackson is playing for a contract. He wants to secure that bag. The addition of Roquan Smith was nice. It helps solidify that defense of theirs. So I gotta go with the Ravens over the Saints.
All right, that's all the NFL games. Corey, I'll actually send you a message here in a few and let you know about that Muncie show. It's actually, well, I can tell you real quick. It's going to be in Muncie at the National Guard Armory. It's not going to be at the fairgrounds. They made a change. They're actually a flyer should be coming out real soon. They just announced it like 2 days ago. This month it's not going to be the War Games, but they are going to have a show Saturday, November 26th at the National Guard Armory here in Muncie, Indiana. I'll have more information on it here once they release the flyer. But if you go to DCCW Indiana, they done a little video the other day talking about it. But in the tickets and the flyers should be out here real soon. Judge, you got any final thoughts before we get out of here on this Friday night?
The Lakers are down by 4 with 1:47 to play in the third.
Oh, we still got a lot of time.
The Utah Jazz. Yep. And we all know how much of a surprise the Utah Jazz.
Hey,
right? They have a pretty strong bench as well.
Yeah, the Pacers got a big win tonight. I don't know if you call it a big win, but they got a win over the Miami Heat. But it was nice to see that they played a little bit better defense. I think I like the young team we have. I mean, we got some talent, and you can see us getting better. It's going to be interesting to see how everything ends up developing over the next year or two with that. But appreciate everybody watching tonight. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room and at the Sports Judge. Also at All Sports All Plays network as well. Like and follow us on Facebook and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays network. You can find all the information about the Gonzo Sports Room shows on YouTube or on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room. That's where I post all the information about the shows. If you're a college football fan, in the morning, go check out Ray Cruz and Dre Montez's college football breakdown show. Starts at 9 a.m. in the morning and goes up till kickoff at noon. You can find that on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. I think Tiki Live TV, Roku TV, all at the All Sports All Plays network. So that's a great show there Saturday morning to get you ready for the college football games. Big slate of college football games tomorrow night. Big slate of games, man. Tomorrow morning and afternoon. Actually, basically just all day tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a lot of great college football games tomorrow. A lot of college football games tomorrow. And then Sunday, of course, you got the NFL.
Yeah, and then Sunday, the NFL.
Saturday night, you also got game 6 of the series.
And tomorrow at noon Eastern, for anybody that's a pro wrestling fan, myself and my dad will be doing a watch along for the WWE Crown Jewel. Starts at 12 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So if you're a pro wrestling fan, you want to talk some wrestling, jump on with us tomorrow. But on behalf of the sports judge, Jonathan Mathis, I'm Chris D. Gonzalez. We will be back on Monday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, for another episode of Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe. We'll see you Monday night.
Be safe.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.